Oh, I just hope there's a really good planet.
Social structures are a construct.
Yeah, keep telling stories. They make us human.
I hope for an Aotearoa where we allow the actual evidence about imprisonment and the harm that it causes to inform a more empathetic society. The system is based on colonial needs and colonial aims. We see that in the overrepresentation of Māori in the criminal justice system. It was developed for social control. It wasn't developed to rehabilitate people. It was developed to lock away the people we don't want to think about or see, just put them away over there. It's such an archaic system that was developed in such a different society for such different reasons. You can't mould that into something that is restorative or rehabilitative or empathetic. You have to build something up from the ground. It's just not feasible or realistic to try and engage it for restorative or rehabilitative aims when that's just not what it was built for. We're too entrenched in penal populist views. Politicians are stuck on this tough on crime trope that is a lie. It's historically been used to subjugate marginalised communities, and that's still happening all over the world. Indigenous peoples are the most incarcerated people. It's not working, it's not what we need, it's not a step forward, it's just keeping us in the same place, which is where some people want to keep us. But if we want to move society along, then that has to change. If you want to create a solution, you have to actually invest in the agencies that are supposed to be providing the care and enforcing whatever you want to be enforcing. But what we're seeing now is that you're cutting staff, you're cutting funding, so staff are going to feel undervalued, they're going to feel stressed, they're going to get burnt out, they're going to disassociate from their work, they're not going to want to do what they're doing, they're going to become... We know that workplace burnout creates adversarial attitudes to who you're working with, so it's just creating a system of resentment and discontent, and I think you need to start by investing in the care of the people who are going to provide the care. The root cause of offending and the harm that offending then causes for both the victims and the offender through imprisonment is quite easily mitigated through really well-informed social policy, community-based initiatives like therapy, wraparound support, school-age intervention, because we know that people who are exposed to adverse experiences in childhood can often develop a pathway to offending, and we know how to identify that. So if there's support systems in place at that stage, then we're not going to have the prison overpopulation that we have now, which limits our ability to provide the rehabilitation and treatment and care that is needed by incarcerated people. We can see from the growing prison populations and the growing mental health challenges and suicide rates in incarcerated people that it's causing more harm than good. It's not actually reducing crime, it's not reducing reoffending, it's not rehabilitating people, it's just putting them away and locking the key and not dealing with it and creating further trauma. We know that family members of people who are incarcerated have adverse impacts and are more likely to be incarcerated themselves, so it's just perpetuating a cycle, and there is evidence that we can follow that will help us stop it, but we're not. If the evidence about imprisonment and the harms that it caused was easily accessible to us, we'd be more empathetic, and we could actually reduce the harm of offending and reoffending and imprisonment.